Money talks, wealth whispers. Hello, my name is Oralia. Welcome to my channel. I'm very happy that you clicked on this video today. I'm a personal stylist and my passion is to help plus size women look and feel their best. Even though you are plus size, it doesn't mean that you cannot dress in a beautiful, elegant, luxurious way. And that's what today's video is all about. The idea of quiet luxury, or also known as the old money aesthetic, has been thrown around the internet a lot lately. And it's due to a few things. First of all, that show Succession, which has brought that kind of old money or quiet luxury aesthetic to the forefront. In addition to that, it's been trending on TikTok now for a bit. And then also with the reemergence of the 90s minimalism style in the fashion realm, all of these things have kind of come together and have really made this a topic that a lot of people are talking about. And I'm going to give you tips on how to get that style as a plus size woman without having to have generational wealth. So what is the quiet luxury aesthetic anyway? Well, it is a term that has been thrown around lately that's used to describe the style of those who are in the upper crust. But to me, it goes a little bit beyond that because it is actually a way of being. It is a sense of style that is very, very timeless. While it can be very traditional, it is also really minimal. And in that minimalism, you're able to carry that style over through decades without looking dated because you're wearing a lot of things that are just classics. Take Carolyn Bessette Kennedy as an example. She really drove that 90s minimalism trend that I equate with quiet luxury. She really did give off a sense of style that was very minimal but timeless and very beautiful in its timelessness. Any of the things that you saw her wearing back in the 90s, you could very, very easily wear today. So in my mind, that is what quiet luxury is. In addition to the actual root of the term, quiet luxury is not logo driven, which again helps to give it that timeless style. Because you're not tying a brand to what you are wearing, then you can easily carry it without it being considered out of style. I really have to appreciate the fact that quiet luxury is not about logos, because to me, logos are very much like seeking attention. You can look at it in this way. It's like new money has to advertise that they're new money because it is new to them. They did not grow up in that lifestyle. And so they feel the need to prove that they have that lifestyle versus somebody who is coming from an old money or generational wealth background. They don't feel the need to prove that because that is their normal. There's nothing outside of normal for them because they are they grew up in an affluent family. I much more appreciate quiet luxury because to me that feels a lot more elegant, a lot more sophisticated, and definitely something that you can carry on through the ages. In a nutshell, that is what quiet luxury is. All of those things, but essentially it is looking expensive without having to say you're expensive. So let's take a slightly deeper dive into that quiet luxury / 90s minimalism look. First of all, there are a lot of neutrals in the look. However, it is not just neutrals, but it is primarily neutrals. And the reason being is because neutrals are never going to go out of style. They're never going to be wrong. There's no rule saying that you cannot include color in this style aesthetic. You absolutely can. It's just a matter of whatever you're wearing in a color, you want to make sure that it is in a classic silhouette so that way it doesn't lose its timelessness. The one caveat to that being quiet luxury does not follow fashion, and so you would want to avoid colors that are trending right now, like say chartreuse yellow or hot pink. You want to keep to the usual colors, because when you start straying away from that, then you run the risk of having things in your closet that are not going to make the transition over time. As far as the classic silhouettes, we're talking about trousers. Any kind of trouser that is well made or well structured, and any kind of neutral. Ideally, you would want that to be the case, especially because trousers are building blocks of a wardrobe, and the quiet luxury aesthetic really embraces that timelessness. One of the biggest things about quiet luxury are button-down or collared shirts. Generally, they tend to steer to either blue and white stripe or a pale color of some sort, because it really is the most versatile of all. The other thing that they like to wear are polo shirts. They are very versatile. They can be layered over and under things. So that is of value to the quiet luxury aesthetic. Sweaters are pretty important, especially when you're getting sweaters in luxurious fabrics like cashmere or wool, including merino wool, silk, or those types of blends. Even cotton sweaters are of value. You want to stick to cable knit sweaters because those are going to be the most classic and the most timeless, but you don't absolutely have to stick to that. Skirts should be of a classic silhouette, so you're looking at pleated, A-line, and pencil skirts. Those are the most common. You certainly don't want to do anything like an asymmetrical hem or a handkerchief hem. Those are not considered quiet luxury. They're not classic and timeless enough to fall within this genre of fashion. And I totally get that, because they come in and out of fashion. So you want something that's going to kind of hold steady through the years and not date you in any kind of way. Jeans are usually straight leg, medium wash, zero distressing, no distressing. You want to look like money when you're wearing your clothes, and having torn up jeans does not look like money. It looks actually a little bit untidy, and one of the parts of that, quiet luxury is and 90s minimalism is that really clean kind of aesthetic. You don't want to look unkempt in any way. Blazers are key to the quiet luxury style aesthetic, and not so much oversized blazers though. You have to mind the trends in blazers. A slouchy blazer could very easily go out of style tomorrow, whereas a fitted blazer is never going to go out of style. It will always look good no matter what. So make sure that when you get your blazers for this look, that you're not getting oversized. You want to get something that is a little bit more tailored, a little bit more fitted. I wanted to spend a moment on prints. Quiet luxury is very, again, traditional, classic, so you want to stick to your traditional prints. Stripes are huge where quiet luxury is concerned, because they are so timeless and classic. Like think Breton stripe, things like that. You could do florals with the quiet luxury look, but because of that minimalism, you really want to kind of rein that in just a bit. You certainly don't want to do any loud, obnoxious florals in your look, because that's just going to be a little bit over the top for the look. And you can do smaller scale florals like a ditzy print, but really you kind of want to stay away from any of the floral patterns. You might see some plaid during the winter. Houndstooth is another one, as long as it is in a small scale. Any of those menswear inspired patterns are going to fall within this quiet luxury 90s minimalism aesthetic. So for accessories, shoes, you want to do classic pointy toe pumps ideally, or the type of pump that fits your foot the best. And the heel height doesn't really matter as long as it's not like a crazy stiletto. Generally 4 inches is what I have seen in doing my research for quiet luxury. That's the max, but whatever heel height works best for you. You could also do flats. There's nothing wrong with that as long as they don't look too outside of a classic flat. Slingbacks, you could do the same thing with those. Cap toe flats, cap toe ballet flats, anything like that is going to fall within that quiet luxury aesthetic. Boots, riding boots is a big one for this particular aesthetic. And then the short boot or the heeled boot The long boot with a heel, a classic heel, nothing too crazy, certainly not any kind of platform boots or shoes or anything like that. You want to stay away from anything that is too trendy. There are handbags that are not branded, but are those if you know kind of brands. Thinking about the Hermes Kelly or the Hermes Birkin, especially because those are very exclusive. Those are very, very quiet luxury. Belts, well, belts have got to be leather, and you probably want to have a few. I would say definitely tan, black, and maybe a burgundy belt. Also a cream colored belt. Try and keep the logos to a minimum on your belt. These are definitely a branded belt versus these. While they do have the brand on there, I know that I could wear this belt in 10 years for sure without anybody batting an eye, because it is so minimal. It is very, very clean. It doesn't have a lot of embellishment like the double G's have. It's just one little V, but it feels a little bit more sculptural, a little bit more architectural, and therefore giving it a little bit more of a classic look. So that's the example for belts. Also, I would have to say between these two belts, this one is definitely of better quality than this one. This one is really nice leather, don't get me wrong, but this one has got finishes on the edges and it's got a much sleeker, more sophisticated look than this one. This one feels a little bit more raw, a little bit more rough, and this one is definitely more luxurious in look and feel. So when you're shopping for belts, again, you don't have to get either of these if you don't want to, but just make sure that you get a belt that is made of really great quality and that the branding is such that it's not going to go out of style anytime soon, that it is something that you could wear 10 years from now and people are all like, oh, really nice belt, you know? Jewelry for quiet luxury tends to be higher end. So you may be looking at fine jewelry, or if anything, you will be looking at like really high quality vermeil jewelry. Something that is going to last for years, that is going to look good for years. You want to consider the type of jewelry that you're buying and maybe start phasing away from costume jewelry and into, at the very least, a high quality vermeil. Quiet luxury also loves their scarves. They wear their scarves on their head, around their necks, on their handbags. I mean, you name it, you can find a scarf somewhere where quiet luxury is concerned. And there's really nothing wrong with that, actually. I think scarves are some of our more underutilized accessories because they add such a beautiful feminine flair to a bag, or they add something really nice and understated yet dramatic around your neck. You can use them during the winter, you know, with your coats and such. So there's a lot of different ways that the quiet luxury set uses scarves. Quiet luxury love their sunglasses, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you keep the sunglasses somewhat low-key where logo is concerned. You could absolutely do something a little bit bolder with your sunglasses, and I think that in quiet luxury is acceptable because it's a small accessory, and there is where you get to really express your personal style, and the fun aspects of your personal style is through your sunglasses. I've seen a lot of different styles, a lot of different color frames, and a lot of sizes of frame as well. So that is one of those key accessories for quiet luxury. So the old money aesthetic tends to purchase for longevity. So that means that they are looking for quality above all else. It is of the utmost importance to them because they are not into throwaway fashion. The reason the wealthy stay wealthy is because they don't spend their money foolishly, and that includes on their clothing as well. Intending to or not intending to, the old money aesthetic is very economical and sustainable for this reason, because quality is so important. They are very, very intentional about how they buy their clothes because they are thinking about the long haul. They want clothing that is going to be versatile in their wardrobe. They stick to natural fibers. Natural fibers tend to last the longest and are the most versatile. So think of cotton, linen, silk, wools like merino wool, regular wool, cashmere, and blends of these natural fibers. You will rarely ever see them going for any kind of synthetic fibers. They tend to stick to these natural fibers because one, they're very luxurious in look and feel, and two, they last a long time and they stay classic for longer. If you're thinking about a blend, especially like right now, linen blends are everywhere. They would be cautious of the blend ratios and the blend fabrics because linen can be blended with synthetic fibers. H&M gets away with this all the time with their linen blends, but really what they would look at in a blend would be like linen and cotton, or cotton and silk, or wool and cashmere, you know, those types of blends. So keep that in mind as you're shopping. And they do invest in fine jewelry a lot because of course these are the pieces that are going to become heirloom pieces. So they are not afraid to spend money on their jewelry. Leather goods that they buy are always very, very well made, and they will again last for a long time, and they are very intentional about where they put their money as far as the leather goods that they invest in, like shoes, belts, and handbags. Grooming is another area that is of utmost importance, and I would say that it's probably one of the most important things because it really speaks volumes about your station in life, the way that you are groomed. And so that means that they stick to hairstyles that are very classic. You'll rarely ever see them doing any kind of crazy colors, and you'll rarely ever see avant-garde cuts. The makeup that they wear is minimal and fresh. They might do a red lip every now and again. Think about Carolyn Bessette Kennedy. Once again, her makeup was always very, very minimal, but she wore red lipstick every now and again when you would see her out in the evenings. The clothing that they wear is not wrinkled. It is not dirty. It is not smelly. Again, the appearance is everything. They fully understand what their image conveys about them and where they come from without having to scream, I have a lot of money. Tailoring is a way of life for the old money aesthetic because they again understand that how you look and what you're spending on your clothing matters. And so if they're going to spend money on the clothing, they absolutely want it to look its best on them. And that is why I have said on this channel ad nauseum that tailoring is important. For them, it is everything. And I think that it should be everything for all of us. So how do you get the old money aesthetic? The first rule of thumb is to invest in the highest quality that you can afford. You want to stick to natural fibers, fabrics, and such. No synthetics, no synthetic blends. You can shop at mid-range brands and get that old money look from brands like Banana Republic, J. Crew, Ralph Lauren Woman, and Reformation. For the high street, you can find really high quality things that will last you for a while that look really expensive. You just have to do a little bit of digging. Places like H&M, Mango, and Abercrombie, especially for jeans. If you don't want to buy fine jewelry, then I would say go for a really high quality vermeil jewelry maker like Monica Vinader or Missouri. Watches are super important to this group, especially watches with a leather band. That's just like the ultimate and classic watch. And so if you want an affordable option, I would recommend Nordgreen. For handbags, you absolutely could do a mid-range luxury bag like Coach, Tory Burch, Teddy Blake. Just be aware of any overt branding. You want to avoid that at all costs. You could shop eBay. They've really stepped up their authentication practices. You could shop pre-loved like at The Real or Fashion File, or you could shop at thrift stores in affluent neighborhoods. Those are gold mines for really good quality pieces. For more on high quality wardrobe basics, check this video out right here where I talk about building a high quality wardrobe that you will actually wear. I go a lot deeper into a lot of the style principles that I covered off on here in this video. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you in that video.